We'll call the meeting to order at 4:18. Roll call, please.
Okay. Chairman Meyer,
Here?
Commissioner Hoffman,
Here?
Commissioner Fiorito,
Here.
other officials in attendance? Start, you want me to start? Or? Deputy Clerk Karen Schulteis,
Assistant to the Chief, Stephanie Conboy.
Chief Al Stuffin.
Deputy Chief Jim Zalaki.
Minutes, I've had a chance to go over them. I think everything was correct as submitted.
Looks fine to me.
Joe?
I'm fine as well.
Okay. Motion to approve as submitted.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Do we have a need to go into closed session? We really don't, do we?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay. Old business, and I'll give it off to you or the deputy chief.
Jim will hand it to you right now.
All right, we're looking, the original timeline for the sergeant's testing started with our written exam was supposed to be on October 7th. We had several officers that were interested in it, but they had some conflicts with that date, so we're looking to change the date to November 11th. It's a Saturday, which would push some of the
That's
other.
their written test?
The written test would be on the 11th of November. We still left the deadline of the application September 1st, which everybody has gotten theirs in that was interested, but Friday is the deadline, so we're still leaving that as the deadline of their interest. We just wanted to move the written exam to November 11th, and that would push the oral interviews. Then we'd have to push everything back.
That's October 21st, was that one there?
Well, the interviews were scheduled for the 21st. Obviously, that would push it back maybe 2 weeks after the 11th, or even whatever we come up with a
Probably
date.
December, even like maybe December 1st.
Does it matter that November 11th is Veterans Day?
I don't think so.
I don't think it would matter on ours.
Okay.
Not on our end. I mean, it's,
If any of you have a conflict, that's really what it comes down to.
I've never gotten Veterans Day off in my life.
I'll have it off, so.
it's a Saturday, so.
I know.
So we're just looking to see if that's fine to change it to the 11th.
That sounds fine to me, yeah.
Okay.
We
And
have one officer that's getting married, and then we have another officer that,
out of the country.
out of the country, and
Who's getting married?
Mark Funt.
No kidding.
Okay, good. So, that's the written.
Written would be the 11th, and then orals, whenever we come up with an agreement, sometime, usually like 2 weeks after that. The original timeline was, interviews were like 2 weeks after the written, so anywhere around that time frame, if you guys can look at your schedules and
We can do something.
I
figure
think
something out.
a Saturday that would be good for me would be like December 1st.
Right, that'd be fine.
December 1st is a Friday.
Or maybe the second.
On the second.
December 2nd.
I have nothing.
That looks good to me right now. Okay.
Okay, we'll make the changes and notify the officers.
I believe we've already had 10 applications. We were expecting 10 people to submit, even though the deadline is tomorrow.
Friday. And we got them all in.
And we already have them all in. So.
No surprises?
No, sir.
Nope.
Okay, very good.
Now we got the reading materials.
Yes, they've been studying. Even one went on vacation, said he studied a lot while he was on vacation.
Under new business, I got the report done.
It's good.
Nice job.
I thank you. Thanks to Stephanie, and I'm sure Karen helped with that, getting the information that I needed. If Joe or Sharon doesn't have anything that they want to add to it, we need to approve that then as submitted.
No, I'm fine.
I'm good with it as well.
Motion?
Motion to approve the Jerry's amazing report.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Very good, thank you. Summer Reach. Date.
Yes, we've wrapped up the outreach program for this summer, and the last field trip was the Chicago River Tour with Science is Fun with science projects, where they learned how the buildings can withstand the winds that we get. They learned about the different parasites in the lake waters from Lake Michigan and the Chicago River, and had to figure out which one was dirtier. They were taught about how the boats can float, how that works, how they talked about how the dam works, or how the locks, not the dam.
The river is dirtier, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's why it flows that way.
They got to have lunch in Wrigleyville. We went, took them to DiAgostino's, and they really seemed to like getting into the neighborhood and getting to see an area they don't normally get to see. And we walked to the ballpark, which they seem to really like, of getting to see, you know, how this is how it is. They've never been out that way.
Did
We
you walk
took
from
them-
D'Agostino's all the way there?
We did.
Oh, nice.
Mhm. It's not far, so it was good to let
I
them
used to
burn
park
off.
over there.
And they went into the trophy room and came out, the trophy was unscathed, so that was good. And they had the tour of the ballpark, and they seemed to really like getting to be in there. They couldn't get them in some areas because they were setting up for the Billy Joel concert that weekend. But they really seemed to enjoy it. I had a couple girls actually say to me how they were shocked that they never knew this area existed, and that there was a whole different world out there in the city that they didn't know about. And they were like, so we can go to college and move down here with our friends like you did? I'm like, absolutely, absolutely you should. But go to college. That's the part I skipped.
Chaperones had a good time too?
I think they were tired. There was a lot of walking. So, but yeah, they seemed to enjoy the tours.
How many total trips did we go on this summer?
We did, well, in addition with Harper, if you count that, there was the Government Day, Brookfield Zoo, the movies, so 5. I mean, if you count Harper, it'd be 5.
You want to tell them a little bit about what Harper did for these kids?
Sure. One of the professors that runs the program, Wayne Johnson,
Criminal
reached
justice
out
program.
to, yes, their criminal justice program, reached out to Chief Steffen and offered to have our youth outreach, the older kids that are interested in law enforcement, come to their facilities in Palatine, where they have a crime lab set up and a whole forensics lab where they teach hands-on, on-site, different scenarios of what evidence technicians see and do. So they had a retired, I believe he was from Schaumburg, Mike Smith, taught them about blood spatter and fingerprints and what they'd come in and look for when they're on a crime scene, and to treat everything as a crime scene. And is it a murder? Is it a suicide? So we set up a crime scene in the classroom where the kids had to come in after he had taught them and gone over what to look for and what to not touch, don't mess it up, don't move stuff, but you want to make sure you're looking for certain things. Take into account the stories of what the patrol is telling you of what happened, and the kids had to figure out what they were walking into. And you could see the wheels spinning of
How old are the kids that we're talking about?
high school age, high school and college age. Our intern came, and one of our younger volunteers who's at college age came with. And really enjoyed it. They all did their own fingerprints too. So they got to play around more with some of that. They seemed to really enjoy it. I know Detective Caponigo really enjoyed it. And he really liked watching what the kids were doing too.
I believe, how many do we have total that participated throughout the course of the summer?
We had 60 registered, and the average is 45 to 50 each trip.
Were they a lot of the same kids each time?
Most of them, you had kids, a few of the kids are involved in summer camps and different, the older ones are, they're involved in different activities through school and vacations. So their parents, I had a couple parents actually were really good about saying, oh, they can't make it this trip. This is what they have going on for this. So I think the parents were very involved this year. And we kept them up to date if we're running behind or stuck in traffic. Thankfully, the Indian Trails Library staff that I could hand the phone over to them, like, can you update in Spanish or in Polish on Facebook so the parents know? And we can just get the word out there, we're coming, we'll be there. We had a lot of good help.
And I think that pretty much most of the staff of the department, most of the officers volunteered at one time or another to come out and help out with this.
Yes, they did.
So, it was really a cohesive group effort to keep this thing moving forward. So, the reason why we do this is to try to kind of build, to keep a relationship with the community, especially with our community on the east side. And, and I think it's working because we don't have near the issues that we used to have. So this is just one of the things that kind of helps with that. You have anything else, Steph?
No, just, we really was a group effort. The volunteers were amazing, the officers were a huge help. And Harper College really always helps us too in Indian Trails, and we're very lucky to have the support that we do.
Do they go down in uniform, or you guys wear your police gear?
They usually, this year they were wearing like department polos, very casual, but the way the kids would know who the volunteers and who the officers were.
We put all the kids in colored T-shirts though, so we can identify who's ours.
Good.
So, they all have youth outreach. shirts.
Helps keep track of them, too.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean,
Because you get a lot of summer camps at the same places we go.
yeah. Okay, great. We have any updates on the department?
Yes, sir, we do. We're looking at starting an adjudication process for ordinance violations. As Sharon can attest to, the court system seems to be overburdened with, they seem to have a lot of activity, and it usually takes 2 or 3 months to get a case resolved, if not longer. So as a way to kind of to move around that and keep things flowing accordingly, we're looking at expanding our adjudication court system, which we already have for red light hearings. We have an adjudication officer, one day a month. Anybody that wishes to contest their red light violation can come in here and go through the hearing process. Well, now we're looking to pretty much encompass most of what is in our city code, and a lot of the zoning and building offenses as well will be heard at the adjudication process. So I'm working with the council and staff and moving that forward. Again, everything you move forward at a much faster clip, not quite as formal, but still will provide a means of due process for people that have an issue with their citation. But moreover, everything stays within house.
Who acts as the judge?
It would be, there's a lawyer, and right now we use a gentleman by the name of Guy Carm as our hearing officer for red light camera violation hearings, and we're looking to expand his role, and he's willing to do it.
So so only 1 day a month right now?
Right.
So you're looking at increasing that for more?
Depending on
than
how
a
many
day?
tickets we write and how many people actually contest the tickets. So
And this would be for all city ordinance
It could
violations?
be for minor drug violations. It could be parking violations.
There'll be all P tickets?
All the P tickets, correct. And potential zoning and building violations as well.
And they can appeal it back to circuit court in the event
Uh,
they're not happy with the outcome?
There's an appeal process, and with the home rule community, they can't.
Okay.
But with non-home rule community, they could potentially do that, but it would take, at that point, I believe the burden of evidence falls on them, and they would have to pick up the total, if they rule against them, then they have to pick up the cost.
Right.
So these are televised?
It would be televised, yeah,
Okay, that'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
so. That's new. Recently, Officer Garza was involved in an arrest situation where she looked like it was going to be a DUI, and it turned out the guy had been selling drugs at the home bar, and she found a significant amount of cocaine and pills on him, along with money. And from that, we went through a seizure process and picked up a 2007 Lexus, along with about $3,000 in cash. Alexis is gonna be going to our DEA officer. Who's currently driving a Chrysler Town and Country that has almost 200,000 miles on it.
Yeah, I think he needs a new one.
Just step up.
He is the DEA officer, the task force investigator who's been down there for about 10 weeks now. We just been notified that his background has been approved. He should be getting his credentials any day now. So he will be our permanently assigned task force officer.
Was the arrest inside of Home Bar?
No, what happened was that the guy, he came out of Home Bar and made a wrong turn and then was trying to figure out where he was, but he'd also had a few pops in him too. And Officer Garza picked him up and everything she did was outstanding. Her documentation was perfect. It was textbook, it really was. She did a good job.
Wonderful.
We're seeing her name come up quite often. Yeah,
She's working, she's a worker.
yeah.
She was a good hire.
Yes.
Good things come in small packages sometimes.
Exactly, so we're very happy to have her, and I'm happy to report that we really have no issues right now. Everybody seems to be happy and healthy. I do believe that that the city and the union is pretty close to settling their contract right now, and they did 99% of it without attorneys.
Nice.
No wonder they did so well.
And so everything's looking good from departmental point of view right now.
Great.
Right?
I love the letters. Letters are really nice.
The
to
letters
see.
are,
Really nice to see.
yeah, very uplifting.
And I will make that part of our ongoing report. Anytime I get letters like this, I will submit them as part of the packet.
I find it just interesting that people just take the time out to write a letter like that. You just don't see that. You know, negative ones, yes. It takes a lot of effort for somebody to write down something positive.
Well,
not the
it's, I
norm.
mean, they're not long, but you're absolutely right. It's not just a hand-written note to the chief saying, hey, you guys did a great job, thanks a lot. I mean, he sat down and took the time to compose something, and that's nice.
And moreover, I think it, you don't just hear it from me, you hear it from the citizens as well.
Right.
That, they think that our guys are doing a good job, so, you probably hear it from me too much, so I just want to pass it on. It's not just me that's saying it.
It's a good feeling.
I was interested, I never heard of bubble soccer.
Me neither.
I assume that's where you run the ball around you, right?
You look
Yeah.
like a hamster.
Yeah, I've seen the videos of it. It looks pretty good contact. The person who carries the most mass usually wins those matches.
Well, I think something must be, one of the things that we encourage is, we have our officers stop by the schools on a daily basis. And so that helps with the relationships, and I think that's also, where Mark Profont met his future wife.
Oh, really? She's a teacher
Yes.
at 23?
Oh,
Yes.
my God.
Oh, for crying out
Better
loud.
that than a bar, right?
So,
Oh, I could, yeah, when we're done, I'll tell you a story.
But moving forward, it's been a good summer. We haven't had the issues that some of the surrounding departments have dealt with, and, we continue moving along.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Great job.
That's all I have.
Okay. As far as next month's meeting date, do we want to just leave that kind of open right now, or we really need to have a meeting though, don't we? But it's not,
Everything is moving into October as far as the sergeant's exam. I think we probably should have a meeting to set the timeline. But that week on September 27th, both Deputy Chief and I are going to be out of town. Actually, Sergeant Perlier is going to be in charge for a few days, the acting chief. So if there's a date, an alternative date that we can agree on, or if we can move it into, no, we probably should have something in September.
So you're going that day or that whole week?
I'm gone the whole week. Actually, you're here
I'm here
earlier in the
Monday,
week,
Tuesday.
so you could probably,
Yeah, I'm gone Wednesday through that next Sunday.
I'm not good until Tuesday of that week.
Tuesday should be okay.
I'm fine for Tuesday.
That's same, which week?
The 26th.
September 26th.
26th. Yeah, that's
Whoops.
fine. That's okay.
Wait, let's make sure I didn't just look at October. Yeah, Tuesday, that's when I'm back.
So Karen, we'd be looking at a special meeting on the 26th.
Tuesday.
At 4 o'clock or 4:30?
Mm-hmm.
Chairman Meyer, I have a question. Do you want to be put on the September 11th city council meeting to present the report?
Is that
That's the next meeting, it's a workshop.
that's a council meeting?
Yes.
No, I'm leaving the 9th. So,
That's the next one.
I think the next meeting will be the 25th of
and I'm
September.
not back until the 26th.
Can we have
we-
somebody submit it in
We
your
do, why don't you just have it submitted and have it part of Joe's report that we've submitted the
Okay.
report, okay?
That will work.
Okay, I have nothing else.
And close down.
Motion to adjourn?
Second that?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Very good.